Greenpeace, from 3 to 3 million. Greenpeace, an enormous organization that has impacted the environmental movement all around the world, started out as a team of 3 or 4 people. At first, Bob Hunter, Irving Stowe, and his wife Dorothy Stowe were sitting around their kitchen table. They were having a conversation about the Amchitka nuclear bomb test that was going to be conducted. They were all worried about the bomb. They decided to get a group together and hold a meeting concerning the Amchitka nuclear bomb test. It was the 70s, and the U.S. was planning on setting off a nuclear bomb test in Canada's backyard. The test was to be conducted on the island of Amchitka, right off the coast of Alaska. Since this was U.S. territory, they could conduct the bomb test. The Amchitka bomb was to be 250 times more powerful than the bomb that blew in Hiroshima. Canada, and especially in Vancouver, was swarming in protests and riots against the Amchitka nuclear bomb test and the Vietnam War. Vancouver was full of tree huggers and animal lovers. Environmentalists and scientists were speaking out against the bomb test. If that Amchitka bomb went off, not only would all the wildlife be killed on the island and the surrounding area, but the amount of force applied from the nuclear bomb could cause a tsunami and an earthquake. This disaster could affect Canada strongly. After a few weeks, the meetings called Don't Make a Wave were frequently held. With the pressure of the Amchitka nuclear bomb test getting closer, people got more stressed and mad. Over coffee one morning, Marie Bohol mentioned an idea. Why not sail a boat up there and confront the bomb? At one Don't Make a Wave meeting, as it was called then, everyone was conversing about the test. Then Bohol announced the idea. They, Greenpeace, a group of 6 or 7 people at the time, could take the voyage to Amchitka by boat and stop the nuclear test. Everyone in the group thought this idea was ridiculous, because up near Amchitka, the storms were so bad, large boats were even swallowed in the waves. But Greenpeace, being a loose alliance of hippies with long hair, environmentalists, pacifists, and Quakers, they didn't let up on ideas very easily. And ridiculous ideas were their thing. Greenpeace ended up pursuing the idea. After that meeting in 1971, Greenpeace founder Irving Stowe flashed a peace sign and said to the small group of people, "Peace." In return, Bill Darnall, a quiet Canadian ecologist, said in return, "Make it a Greenpeace." This is when the meetings Don't Make a Wave became a small organization called Greenpeace. To get a boat to take the voyage, they needed money, and none of them had enough money for one. They started fundraising. Marie Bohol, the artist of the group, offered to make buttons to make money and spread awareness of Greenpeace. Greenpeace was spelled at first with green and peace separately, but then Marie put on the button and the word would only fit together, so it became Greenpeace as one word. Obviously, the team became aware that selling 25-cent buttons would not be enough money to buy a boat. To earn more money for the cause, they decided to put on a concert. Greenpeace members thought this would be an impossible next step because of the terrorism going on in Quebec. At the time, Quebec wanted to become an independent nation, so they used terrorism to fight to get their way. Greenpeace had the whole concert planned out. Joni Mitchell and James Taylor would perform. And indeed, they did. It was such a big hit that 10,000 people ended up showing up. Greenpeace was very surprised that so many people came. With 10,000 people coming, they earned more than $23,000 for the voyage to stop the Amchitka nuclear bomb test.
Here tonight, you are making possible a trip for life and for peace. you are supporting the first Greenpeace project, sending a ship to Amchitka to try to stop the testing of hydrogen bombs there or anywhere.
Within a matter of weeks, Greenpeace had a ship prepared with Captain Cormack in charge for the long voyage to the island of Amchitka. The team painted on the ship their organization's name, Greenpeace, and later painted the name of their famous ship, the Rainbow Warrior, on the little but mighty boat. On September 15, 1971, 12 Greenpeace members left for the dangerous, life-threatening, long voyage to Amchitka. By then, Greenpeace had many supporters and people to cheer on the voyage. Everyone knew that the team wouldn't come back alive. The 12 of them would be sailing at the most dangerous time of the year. With the ocean waters high and out of control, the outcome of Greenpeace making it was very unlikely. But the voyage had to be done. Bob Hunter filed reports to the news stations and broadcasted over the radio about what was going on out there in the high seas. After 15 days, Greenpeace ran into the U.S. Coast Guard. The man said, "If you continue on like this, you are committing suicide. These waves cut ships in half, far bigger than yours." So far, the trip had been a disaster. With wild storms and wrong directions taken, the crew was a mess. As I said earlier, this alliance of people aren't the type to give up on something big so easily. So they chartered a bigger boat. They pushed through the long journey, but the bomb was detonated on November 6, 1971, way before Greenpeace could have reached Amchitka. Media, including the news, went crazy about Greenpeace. That was all they could ever talk about. Greenpeace's method was to create stirring images. They called these images a media mind bomb. So though the voyage outcome was not what Greenpeace had wanted in the first place, more and more people became globally aware about who Greenpeace was. More people got involved with Greenpeace, and it spread all around North America. Inspired by the bravery of the first Greenpeace team's voyage, Greenpeace member David McTaggart decided to voyage out on his little wooden vessel to stop a French bomb. On his return, McTaggart and his crew were beaten up by the French military. Word spread about the fight between McTaggart and the French all around the world. The French were so ashamed and embarrassed they stopped the program, and the bomb tests were conducted deep under the ocean. After that victory for Greenpeace, they branched out to other environmental problems that were occurring. In 1975, Greenpeace began its first campaign against whaling. Greenpeace's little inflatables were hidden by the looming shadow of the enormous whaling ships.
If you took an image and you passed it through the media into the mass mind, you could essentially blow the mass mind with new images that would create whole new ways of looking at the world. And the image of small whales up against giant whaling machines was a mind bomb.
What is a whale but a big hunk of flesh? Let's poke him, stab him, steal his breath. Let's shoot him, let's waste him, let's flood up the sea till there's none of them left.
Then, in 1976, in Newfoundland, Greenpeace painted the seal pups to keep them from being killed for their fur. In 1977, Greenpeace UK was born. And just like in Canada, Greenpeace started out small with 4 members at the start in London. In 1978, Greenpeace gained a way of transportation. This famous boat, the Rainbow Warrior, was born. And lastly, in 1979, Greenpeace International was formed, an organization that unified Greenpeace groups all around the world. Greenpeace, starting as an unofficial team of only 3 or 4 people, grew to be a massive organization of thousands of brave, smart people all over the world. Greenpeace has changed the world. Without Bob Hunter and Irving Stowe, Europe and Canada could be in ruins from nuclear disasters, and whales could be extinct if Greenpeace didn't save the day. One small step at a time. Now that is how you save the world.